Oh, that's so good. You gotta wait for the finger spin.
And like he claps too at the end there.
He
Oh my
does.
gosh.
He does. Oh, yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the start of a new age. This is no the era of just Travis Snell. It's me, new age Taylor Field, and with me,
I am the Ocean Master, Kirkland.
quick change. I like that. I was like, oh, that other name looks extremely familiar. Oh,
Yeah, new era. I'm very very excited on this. Me and you have done two-man cast in the past, but this isn't just a two-man cast. This is the two-man era, and I am so excited. I don't think I could pick anyone else that I'd rather go on this adventure with. So
I
we
mean,
got the
there's no one
Predator
else, really.
background.
Oh yeah, Travis
we're ready for everything.
About it.
No Travis Snell. That's right, all in the game. Freedom. This is a new friendly era of positivity and happiness. So I'm glad you're here with us. Anyways, I cut you off. You're leading in on a beautiful intro.
No, cut me off. Unlike Travis, I don't mind being cut off.
That's true. We won't kick each other into the waiting room for cutting each other off.
So. No. But yeah, so plugs. GeekVerse is our Twitter, GeekVerse.ca is our home base, and GeekVerse is our Facebook. Be sure to check out all of those because you're going to find links to all of our past episodes and some great stuff. On top of that, be sure to check us out on our Patreon, because our Patreon, you can get exclusive ad-free early content, as well as other awesome exclusive tier rewards and perks and incentives. We have a GeekVerse survey as well. And if you take the time to go check out our social media channels and fill that out, it goes a long way. It means a lot seeing your guys' feedback and just where we can improve, where we can cut back. And I think come this fall, we're going to implement some of these changes and just try and go full swing and just really step it up, amp it up. But yeah, aside from that, just big shout outs to you guys, because you guys have really been delivering. It's the numbers wise for episodes have been just really really doing well, and it just means a lot to have you guys' support and just giving us that fuel to keep on going. And again, we wouldn't be where we are right now if it wasn't for you guys. You guys are the absolute world, so thank you.
That's right. Yes, big thank you. Without anyone listening, what's the point of a podcast, right? I mean, that was the beginning stages for us. Eventually someone listened. So.
Yeah.
First 5 years. This last year has been huge for us.
Okay, so Travis took the liberty of writing out some notes. I don't know if I should adhere to them or
just throw them out. We're just completely going off script from the Travis Snell.
Well, you know what? I'm not going to start with the main juicy topic at this point. Well, we'll start off with the Finn Disney Plus. So now you didn't know too much about this.
No, I didn't. I mean, I knew that there was just controversy around the character, when he was first announced, which I mean, I didn't really focus too much on because I just thought it was an absolute ridiculous argument in the first place. Yeah, Taylor did get a new house. He took all of Travis's shares in the podcast and bought a new house, new studio with it. But
yeah,
just kidding. Sorry, I got distracted by that comment. With the character Finn, I felt like, to the extent of my knowledge on the controversy stuff, was just him being kind of put to the wayside when it was just the posters coming out, especially when you see the posters in China and stuff like that, and how they just purposefully make him much smaller compared to the other characters. And then another thing I heard about was I think it was around the Black Lives Matter thing. I think he was making some comments to Disney. I don't know. Maybe help me out there. Thank you. I'm feeling hot as normal.
They're distracting you tonight.
You're distracting me. Yes, thank you.
What was your question again? Sorry.
So did it have anything to do with the Black Lives Matter thing and him shouting at Disney, or am I just totally making something up in my head?
Why
throw me some rope here. Yeah, help me out.
Why he's getting this series?
No,
is that
just
what you mean?
I thought he was in like some not too great
Oh,
vibes with
well, I wouldn't say not too great. I mean, I don't know the specifics, but I think he was, yeah, during the Black Lives Matters rallies and such. I think he was an advocate for sure,
well, yeah,
and out
for
there
sure.
with the other I don't want to call them like protesters, but people just advocating for the awareness
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
spreading the message of all that seriousness that was going on. So I don't know where that put him in terms of with Disney specifically,
Okay.
but
Maybe I was just making
again,
some of my head, and for some reason I thought he pissed someone else off. But again, like I said in the beginning, I haven't really focused too much on this whole thing. I'm very blind. I'm just kind of making guesses here.
this isn't confirmed. Again, this Finn Disney Plus series is at this point only rumored, but I can't even recall if they actually nitpicked on what time period it is. If it's a prequel, if like it's him like as a kid being recruited into the First Order, which again would be super bland. I think everyone's expecting it to be post Episode 9, where he is trained to be a Jedi, that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. Which I mean, that's what I want.
Yeah. I mean, when I look at the character, like I think he's really interesting in the fact that he wasn't a clone, but he was still like a stormtrooper with the New Order. And then, just done some probably not so great things. Obviously in episode 7, we see right away, like he doesn't like it anymore. So then he goes against that. And then like just that whole transition from being like a member of the New Order and then just going to more of a rebellion side. I just find that kind of interesting. But I feel like we kind of covered most of that in the movies.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. I would want to see something more like force related, training with Rey, and like they even hinted at that in the movie. So I feel like that is the most likely direction that they would go with the character, because otherwise, like you said, like just him as a stormtrooper, I feel like that's not that interesting compared to what they like showed us. They gave us a little hint as to what to expect, and then if they just don't do that, I think that would be a huge missed opportunity.
Like you imagine if they just don't capitalize and he never he chooses to not become a Jedi. He just becomes like a politician. That's the series.
You just wanted to like get enough power to like bring the remote to him when he's on the couch,
Yeah.
and then like
Yeah,
you know what?
exactly.
I'm good. It's a little too much focus to learn the like he's good with the beginner lessons. He doesn't want to go
Yeah.
further. Um,
If he became a Jedi in his own series, what color lightsaber would you like to see him with? Because ever since he used that blue, I love him
yeah,
using that blue. I think it suits
yeah.
him.
It did look really good on him. However, I mean, I'll just have the Travis voice right here. Way too many blue lightsabers. Let's get some more colors and all those things. I think again, purple would be so badass, but I feel like they wouldn't do that because they would just like there'd be a lot of people being like, oh, they just give like the black characters purple
Oh,
lightsabers,
I thought you were gonna say Mace Windu 2.0 or something like that. But you're valid point too. I mean,
Yeah, so like I feel like there would be some criticism with that. But if you're asking me, I would love it. I think the purple lightsaber is so badass. I want to see it again. Um, I'm a person that just wants to see tons of different lightsabers and tons of different colors and different like designs and stuff like that. I've seen them in whether it's some episodes of Clone Wars, or just some other medias that they have like different versions of the light. I mean, even just in episode 8, like when they're in like the throne room and all those other, what are they called? Like the Crimson Guard dudes. They have like their own,
Praetorian.
yeah, like they're not lightsabers, but they just have like that, I don't know, different designs and same sort of ability of a lightsaber to an extent. I just love the creative weapons that they could use. So, but again, I'm kind of tangenting here. Getting back to his lightsaber, I think it would just be like a single blade. I don't think we would get anything crazy. It would probably be blue, honestly, just because that's the one that he started with, and maybe once he becomes a master, I mean, if he ever gets there, maybe that's where we see the green lightsaber from him.
Yeah.
But again, like I want just 2 colors? They're awesome and they're very classic, but do I want that? I think I
Well,
want a
you have
little bit more.
gold. You have the gold yellow.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that. The Skywalker. I'm not.
Yeah. There you go.
What about you? What do you want? What do you want? What do you think?
I mean, you make a grand point about the different types of weapons, and
A Grand
I'm
Admiral point, maybe.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm riding off the steam of the High Republic novels, and they just dabble in so many different types of weapons, like lightsaber, like not a scythe, but like pikes and stuff like that, like all these different types of
Mm,
weapons, and again, white lightsaber crystals purified from Sith kyber crystals and stuff like that. So there's so many different things to choose from, and yeah, I mean, get jiggy with it. Like let's mix
fuck
and match.
yeah.
Like again, sabers with cross guards, which I know Kylo Ren had one, Ezra Bridger had one, and or not, Ezra Bridger didn't have one. He found one. Uh, yeah, just get jiggy.
Just get jiggy with it, and like just right on that theme of getting jiggy. Like I think Star Wars is beyond the point of like trying to just stay true to the OG. You know, like we had the OG trilogy, um, the prequels, love them or hate them, we got them, and like that introduced like a dual bladed lightsaber, right?
Mhm.
And was that also like the first time that we see like a oh my gosh, what's his name? Count Dooku's lightsaber where it's like a curved hilt. Is that is that the first time
Yeah,
we see that in the
in
series?
movies, yeah. The
Yeah, so
original
like just
trilogy was
right,
straight basic hilts.
yeah, so like just like right there, the prequel, they showed us some different variants of these lightsabers. So now that we're getting into more Star Wars stuff, let's just say we're keeping the Skywalker series where it is. Let's get crazy. Like let's get like some like I don't know, fucking ninja stars or something that are lightsabers. Like why not? You know, like in Blue Harvest Family Guy, they had a butter knife that's a lightsaber. Why not have like a
Yeah.
dagger or something like that? Like that's just so cool to me, and it'd be so easy to do because there's so many different versions of like just martial weapons in like our own history. Give them like some glowy patterns and make them a lightsaber. Like it's so fun, and I think it would draw a lot of like younger audiences to something like that because it's just like go back to your youngin days, like the first time you saw a lightsaber, like was that not just like probably the coolest thing ever? Like just especially the noise and the effect and the fact that it could deflect like bullets and stuff like that. Like it's just oh, you know, like I want to see some creativity in this. I don't want to just I don't want to be forced to just stay true to the original.
Well, I think you're gonna get lucky because Star Wars Visions is gonna be all about that. Like, I
Oh
don't
yeah.
doubt it.
I'm so excited for Visions. Oh my gosh. Especially with like this What If series just absolutely draw me in and I'm loving it. I'm excited for like a Star Wars take on that.
Yeah, for sure. Um, what else do we have here?
Do
You know
you
what? Oh,
can
go
I
ahead.
ask you a question actually? Do you have any like we were just jotting some ideas on like the Finn thing and like what that would be. Do you think there'd be like reoccurring characters and stuff like that and like people that he's interacted with? This is probably where you'd get Rose back actually.
Yeah,
And like I don't know, a plot or something. Like have you been spitballing ideas for that?
my headcanon would be whatever storyline they pursue after episode 9, it would incorporate Grogu.
Mm,
So I don't know if they would use
yeah,
him
I could see
with.
that for sure.
Yeah, like I don't know if they would use Grogu with someone other than Rey, but if they were to use someone,
Yeah.
I 100% believe it would be Finn for sure. It would have to be a Jedi after the events of episode 9 at this point, and he would be old enough that he could, I imagine, speak because you're adding another 30 years to
Right.
his life. So he's 50, that would put him at 80. So I imagine he'd be able to talk around there.
He's like Groot in Guardians 2. He's just like going through his teenage years. He's got like his Game Boy, just like
Yeah.
super moody. I don't know what the age scale would be like in whatever the hell their race is, the Yoda race.
Well, I mean, at 50, they're like a infant like thing. I mean,
Extra 30
it's hard to say.
years, teenage, maybe preteen, who knows?
Yoda was an old man and he was 900 years old.
Oh, okay, yeah, maybe he's got some ways to go then.
Yeah.
Maybe he starts
Yeah.
to talk at 80.
At 80, yeah. Did you cover what you thought they could do story wise? I can't recall.
Not really. I kind of just, I mean, I haven't put too much thought into it. Like even just in the show notes for this, like I just saw the Finn D Plus series rumors, and that was like the first time I really like thought about it. But if I had to pitch something, it would definitely. I mean, I really liked your pitch with Grogu. I think that's a really fun idea to incorporate someone from like the TV series and then incorporate. Actually, never mind. This would be a Disney Plus series, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because I was gonna take the example of how like we're starting to see some crossover with the Marvel shows into the actual movies now. But I definitely had a brain fart there. That that's it's just another show, but um maybe like going into more of like Finn with his Jedi training, but maybe also somehow gets like in touch with like his past and like not just like his Star Wars past.
The Star
Oh
Wars
my gosh,
past.
his like stormtrooper past, but like his family and stuff like that. It's like very briefly glossed over, and I don't know, maybe just more of his people and like where he came from. I feel like there's a very short glimpse of that in, I don't know, maybe it's episode 7 or 8, but I remember there being like one line. I'm like, that's really all we get, you know? And
It's where Lando sat next to him and said, "Let's go find out." Like you do
yeah.
with Jaina.
Yeah. So like that's maybe what I'd pitch for that. But again, I don't want to take the job of the showrunner for that one.
Yeah, fair enough. I got nothing else on the Finn stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
we can move it along.
yeah, move along.
Move along.
Let's jump into Midnight Suns gameplay.
Hell yeah.
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 Did
yeah.
you did you watch both gameplay videos, or was this the first one that you watched from this day ago?
So the only one I've seen was the one day ago, the September 7th one, the 20-minuter. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
So-
what did you think?
Yeah, so this was a game like when it was announced when we were watching the what was it even for that we were watching? It was like opening night live, the Jeff Keighley something. I can't quite remember what the name is. I'm sure very sorry, Jeff, if you're watching
No,
this.
wasn't the video game awards. It was like
No, but
Summerfest something, or
I don't think it was Summerfest even. Oh my gosh, Travis, if you're in there, throw us a rope. But nonetheless, when I saw like the first trailer for it, I was just blown away by that trailer. I think we all were. It was just, I mean, look at my face right now. I've just got like Midnight Suns.
Gamescom.
Yeah, Gamescom. There you go. So yeah, like just seeing all the characters with like their yellowish, like yellow and gold or gold and black, whatever the aesthetic that they had for their costumes, it was just so freaking cool. It looked so gorgeous. So like that just got me so hyped. And again, I had a lot of questions just because I know what type of games Firex has made in the past, XCOM, and it was so hard for me to picture, especially when they were like throwing out things like we're sharing 0 mechanics from our previous games, and we're going to be doing something completely original and like all these other things. So I was just fascinated more than anything. I listened to Travis and Dylan's episode, like breaking down that gameplay. So, and I had never actually seen the gameplay, but just like hearing their descriptions of it, again, got me interested. And then watching this one, I think I am still very intrigued with the game. I can't say it's a day one buy for me, but I do really like tactics games. I think the card mechanic thing, I don't know what type of like feedback it's getting online, but I think it's a pretty interesting idea. Honestly, I think it's something unique to that like unique for the series from what we've seen in the past. So you're just seeing like some of the cards that come up, like there was the one with like Doctor Strange's like axe and stuff like that. I just thought it was really cool because it's showing us abilities from these characters. And again, I'm kind of assuming that they're actually like attacks and stuff that they might have in the comics. I feel like, and again, that's me and having no knowledge on that, so I'm kind of making an assumption there. But if that is the case, I think it's really cool because then it's showing us some more like lore for these characters where maybe they don't show that in the MCU, and then it's like, oh, I didn't even know that he had that, as his character. I think it's really cool because I think of a game sort of like the Arkham series, how there was a lot of things in there that just had like descriptions of like Batman's blah 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 from this, and it's like telling this story, but it's like super background stuff that doesn't really help you like in that moment, but it just helps fill in the cracks on like the lore of the characters. And I think it's a fun way to do it because it incorporates it into the gameplay. Like you are literally using these cards. If I'm drawing that Doctor Strange like axe finisher, whatever it is, I'm seeing it visually, and I'm like, okay, I'm affiliating this type of ability with this character now. Whereas before, all I thought Doctor Strange had was a sling ring, his little whip thing, and like the Eye of Agamotto. Um, so I think it's really cool because it allows us to learn more about these characters and incorporate in the gameplay. And I'm very not turned off on the fact that it is a card system. I've played a few of those types of card games in the past, like Loop Hero, Slay the Spire, and I quite enjoy it. Again, I feel like it's just you either like it or you don't. So I don't know. What do you think about the cards? Because you were really interested for a number of reasons. The fact that this is a Marvel game, you got Robbie Reyes in there. I'm sure you love the look of him. Me and
Double
Dylan
chain.
didn't. Me and Dylan didn't love it. I'm speaking for Dylan because this is what he said on the last episode. He's not the biggest fan of the Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider, and I just don't know anything about the character. And personally, I just prefer the look of Johnny Blaze's Ghost Rider with like the bike and everything. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but Robbie Reyes he drives like a car, right? Like a muscle car. Yeah. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's just if I had to pick the two, I would pick the one that I know, and I don't see that version. But yeah, what do you think about the game? Because I don't think I've heard your thoughts on the original gameplay. Because I think you have seen that one, haven't you?
Yeah, I
The first one?
watched the first one, and for me, it didn't. As a voice crack, for me, it didn't. It was not what I was expecting. And then watching this one, it looked more of the same that just I wasn't expecting, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Again, when I say it's not something that I was really expecting or really pumped on, in no way is that negative, because it looks great. It looks exciting with the different characters, the customizations, and these cards and the character abilities, everything like that. I think is fantastic. It's just not something I would get day one, and I mean that in the
Yeah.
sense it just kind of caught me off guard. Where I don't want to say I was going and expecting something like Gears Tactics, but I was expecting something much more like an overhead style, turn-based tactical game.
This is turn-based, I believe.
Oh yeah, it is. It's got many of those
Yeah.
elements of a turn-based, like tactical, like uh, strategy game,
Hmm.
and that's great because I know that's obviously what it's labeled as and classified as. I just was expecting it to be in a different. I don't want to say perspective, but I thought it would be very different. That's all I can really
Like,
say.
are you saying like maybe more like visual, like the top-down aspect? Maybe the maps would look different. Maybe the character
Yeah,
combat would look different.
yeah. Like I'm not a huge fan per se of how turn-based this is and how close we are into it. Like I'm torn between like, okay, if they wanted it to be super close into the action like this, why didn't they just make it like a go in like fighting game at the same time, as opposed to like if we're playing strategically, I like to have more of an overhead, consistent
Mm,
view of everything. And that's me
I see
speaking
what you're
from
saying.
playing RTS games out the wazoo. I like to see the whole battlefield.
Right. No, yeah, that's
Um,
that's a fair point, I think, because especially when you think of like the characters that we're using in this game, like even they were saying like the combat is going to be relatively fast paced because you think about it, like if I'm watching the Avengers, they're not taking their turns fighting, kicking each other's ass. Like it's very fast paced, very action heavy. um I definitely agree with you because I grew up playing RTS games. I've really grown to love turn-based strategy games in the like recently, grand strategy to be precise, which is like on a massive scale. And I played a little bit of XCOM, a little bit more Fire Emblem, so I quite enjoy those tactics games. But in this one, I think I was really intrigued by the card system actually, which is kind of interesting because when I listened to the episode with Dylan and Travis, and by the way, go check out their episode on this because they dive way deeper than probably what we're gonna hit on this one. Um, but nonetheless, I just really like the idea of the card system. I think it's really unique, and I thought the usage of it with these superheroes was really fun. I think I'm a little turn off on like the fact that it seems like it's only like three people on your team, like on these missions. Um, I haven't seen anything like more than three, so I'm just kind of assuming that that's the case. And I yeah, I feel like I'm more positive on it than negative. I feel like I'm going to be keeping an eye on it. I don't want to say I'm going to commit to get it right away. I'm really interested to see, like, I don't know, is this an $80 game, you think?
There's no way it's not going to be an $80 game
Yeah.
for sure. And that's like, again, not day one for me, but when it goes on sale, I
Yeah.
am confident I'd buy it.
Yeah, and I I feel like if I just saw like the gameplay on the map, I'd been like, you can never see me getting this $80 game, you know. But like when I think about some of the other mechanics that are in this game, whether it's the main protagonist that you can kind of customize and change their abilities and stuff like that, um, I I always love when you can create your own character and put them in the fray. That's why I love Fire Emblem, because the main protagonist, I mean, other than this latest one and all the other ones, like you could actually like make the main character like you and customize them. And I mean, you can still customize like their abilities and stuff like that and the way that they play. But I just always love when you can just kind of throw yourself in the mix. And who doesn't want to be, you know, like in the Marvel universe or something like that, you know, like this will definitely be a narrative heavy character. Like he will probably still be the hunter. So you can't really like make it, you know, Kirkland Patzer, the Ocean Master, in there kicking ass, looking like Orm. But I still like that there is some customization. And then like I look over from my created character and like Wolverine's next to me or something like that. Like that's just such a fun idea for me. So I think that's really cool. I really, really like the look of the Abbey system and how it's just like going around interacting with the heroes. I think it looks okay. I don't think it's groundbreaking, like Lee gorgeous, but and I don't think it's bad at all. I think those close-ups of the characters looks really cool, and I think that'd be a fun area to explore and stuff like that. And yeah, like I feel like just getting back to the gameplay, I hope it's really fun to play, and like because they're more fast-paced levels, I hope it's not just like um maybe let me rephrase that. I hope I can just really get sucked in and not just be like, okay, I got like a 10-minute cutscene, 3 minutes of gameplay, 10-minute cutscene I don't really care about or something like that. You know, like I hope it all flows together really well, because I want it to do really well. I think this is a really unique way of doing like a Marvel game. You know, like I never would have guessed we'd be getting a Marvel Tactics or something like that. And so like having someone like Wolverine in there, you know, and some other characters. There's a couple from the Runaways I have zero knowledge on, but I like the roster from what I've seen so far. But anyways, I was rambling off there.
No, ramble away.
Got to drink my water.
Did you get the Avengers game, or did you pass on that?
I passed on that. I definitely let Travis and Dylan down on that one. I was like, oh yeah, this will be fun, all of us to play together. And I remember like getting close to it. I'm like, am I really gonna drop that much money on this game that like seems kind of incomplete? I don't think
next time on them. Next time, baby.
I last online 11 years ago. I liked what I've seen in that game, but I think I just had that realization also around the time when the game was coming out. I'm like, Kirkland, you don't ever fucking finish these games that you buy at $80. You know, like
that's Travis speaking to you.
How about we slow down on? No, this is my wallet speaking to me. I'm like, how about I slow down on getting these like full price games when, you know, like I've shot myself in the foot doing that before, because I buy an $80 game, I play for like 10 minutes, and then it's like maybe life gets in the way, maybe I just lose interest, and then next thing you know, it's like half off, and I'm like, I've literally put in less than 10 minutes, and I could have got it half off, you know. So I feel like I maybe had that realization, and then maybe I was just also thinking like, well, if Avengers is really awesome and like all the praise is just going off on it, then yeah, I will pick it up. But when it came out, a lot of people said, you know, go check out their review, Travis and Dylan, but it was good. It was just maybe lacking content, and for like a full price game, I want a little bit more than that, you know.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't
anything
have
else on Midnight Suns?
No, I got nothing else on Midnight Suns.
Oh,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say I really like the character of oh my gosh, I'm gonna forget her name, Lilith, like the main antagonist of the. She just looks very freaky, very much reminds me of like Diablo, like that type of villain. So as soon as I saw her in the trailer, I was like, oh my gosh, I want to know more about this. And I really like the whole just like aesthetic of like the Abbey and how this almost has like a Van Helsing, like feel to it or something. And I mean, a lot of Diablo vibes for me, maybe just because the main antagonist, but I think it's a really, really fun like storyline from what I've seen so far. So I think that's the last thing I'd want to say on the game so far.
I guess, is Lilith the vampire in the MCU? Is that the same Lilith from this game?
I have no idea, actually. I wasn't sure if she was a made-up character for the game because the Hunter is obviously a new character that they made for the game in collaboration with Marvel. I love how they keep saying that. Like when they had the Abbey, it's like, this is our brand new hub made in association with Marvel. So it's like, we're not just like going full non-canon, even though, I don't know, I guess you don't have to call it non-canon when we have so many different multiverses and universes. This could be really anything, but I don't know. Are you looking into it? Did you find who she is?
I looked into it, and I think she's the daughter of Dracula. I think. Yeah, there's some interesting stuff, but I don't know if it's the one and the same Lilith or whatnot. But hey, one step closer to. Well, I can't say one step closer because Ghost Rider's in the bloody game, anyways. So just give me that paranormal stuff, Feige. On the right track.
Oh yeah, Feige's gonna love this game. He's like, yeah, I put in 3,000 hours on Midnight Suns, and we got to get Robbie Reyes in there.
Yeah.
Would you be upset at all if it was like the first Ghost Rider was Robbie Reyes and not Johnny? You've probably been asked this before. No, just in the MCU.
Yeah, because the story that I know, and I'm not a comic book aficionado I'm not a Ghost Rider expert by any means, but I love the character and I love Johnny Blaze. And to me, I would just like to see Johnny Blaze to some degree. Now, that being said, if we do get Robbie in the MCU, I would just want to see it done with a glimpse of Johnny Blaze's rider, like they did with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I do enjoy Robbie in that show, but I'm really happy that they showed Johnny Blaze like pass the curse on to him. So
I love that you like bring up some Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. just assuming that I've seen it. I love that you have faith in like my my dedication to all these Marvel shows. I definitely never seen a single episode of that.
You don't have to.
You're not the first person to tell me that, funny enough. So
yeah, no, it's nothing. Go. It's nothing. I don't think it's anything special. It hits. It's definitely special to some people's hearts, which is great, but not to me.
Oh, shout out to those people that have it close to their hearts.
Yeah. Oh God, we gotta take an.
I was gonna just say yes.
Okay.
Smooth criminals.
Yeah, we'll be back. And we're back. Absolutely. Quick ad. Couldn't believe it. There's probably like 6 ads there for you. Unbelievable.
I don't know. It's kind of breaking the fourth wall here. I don't know if you've noticed lately, but I feel like most of my ads I've been getting have been like in Spanish. Very, very odd. Like I don't speak Spanish. No one that I know is in my immediate social circle speaks Spanish. And like just back to back. And I can't decipher if they're talking about a car or something like that. But
yeah,
it's interesting. I feel like most of the time I get something relevant to my area, maybe a car ad, maybe like clean up the oceans ad. But lately I've been getting like quite a few Spanish ads. So maybe it's something to do with what I'm searching. I don't know.
I got some too, and they came out of.
Oh,
I was trying to listen to like Geek Ultimate Alliance, and it played like a Spanish ad like 4 times in a row.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on?
Yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to comment on that for no real reason. This is the new era. We can do whatever we want. Travis can't tell us what not to do. So
do everything and anything. On this Marvel trend here, let's continue on the Russos. So now, because of the whole Black Widow scenario, as far as I know, I think they're a little skeptical of coming back and doing another Marvel project. I think that, again, that stems from the whole Black Widow debacle. So I'm curious, do you want them to come back and direct another Marvel film?
I think it's a pretty hard, clear yes. Would I say no to another Russo thing? They gave me like Endgame, Infinity War, they gave us that. So I could never say no to them in the future. I feel like another question, if you were to ask me, like, do I have to have them again? I don't think so. I think if we never see them again and we just allow them to have their last thing being Endgame, I am 100% okay with that. And I think they're okay with that, like to have that just on your resume, like, something like Endgame. And then, like, let's say we have the new Avengers movie came out, directed by the Russos, and everybody fucking hates it for whatever reason. I don't think that would be the case at all. But there would always be those comments of people like, oh, they should have ended after Endgame. Like, why'd they come back for this? So do I want them back? Yeah, because I would totally eat that movie up and it'd probably be amazing. I don't need them back because I think, especially with where we're going in the MCU, I think a lot of it is like starting on a new chapter, a new thing. I mean, if you've seen Shang-Chi, like right then and there, that is a lot of new stuff. That's so new from what we've seen already. And I can't really think of like a director or directors who I would like replace them with, because I don't think that's really possible, especially when you're comparing like creative people in that sense, because everyone has their own way of doing things like that. But I don't know. What about you?
Well, I totally agree in the sense where, and I apply this to real life, where I do something funny or something unfolds, and I think, okay, don't go one more, Taylor, because you'll ruin it. Again, in our meme chat, I don't give a shit. I just go for it. So, but in real life, I think it's a very real thing. And when it comes to directing films, it is such a common thing where they do one, it's great. They do another, it's great. And I'm going to defer to the Star Wars debacle of George Lucas landed that trilogy, and then he put out the prequels, Phantom Menace, and it was just like, oh, he
You
should
love those
stop.
movies.
Oh, I do. They've aged so well. Like,
That's true.
holy
I would
shit.
agree with you.
But yeah, that's just it. It happens to directors, so I don't doubt that it could happen to the Russo brothers. Now, okay, the other part of this question would be, who would you have in their stead to direct the next big like crossover event or Avengers movie? And like, hell if I know.
Exactly. Yeah. Like it's kind of what I was mentioning when I was going. Like, it's just, I'm not very well versed in like directors. Like I know the ones that I like because especially when we like cover their movies and stuff, we talk about like them a lot. But like especially if I'm like trying to predict like a young up and coming director that's just got like the talent for it. Throughout the funny line of M. Night Shyamalan, it's like the next Spielberg, like I don't have an eye for that. And especially when I'm thinking of like a director, I feel like it's so tricky to make a claim like that, because if you're comparing like a sports athlete, like you can kind of see like how they play. Maybe they got like just a natural talent for it and potential. And again, maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe there's a lot of like film experts that are like, oh, you can just tell by the way that this guy has this and the way he's, I don't know, directing this, blah, blah, blah. He's got a talent for it and it's only going to get better. But I feel like with filmmaking, it's so like case by case basis. Like you're really, I don't know, maybe it's a bold claim, but like you're only as good as your last movie. And so I don't know. I don't know how I would be able to predict that. So maybe we're just not well versed in this category. I was gonna say not well educated enough for this, but we're educated people. We're not. This isn't our wheelhouse.
No, I mean, when it comes to directors, I'm not the greatest source of information to defer to. All different directors you can have. Like, again, but if you look at the directors of the Avengers movie, you have Joss Whedon and the Russo brothers, and Joss Whedon's not clearly ever coming back. Like, not a chance. So, I mean, if you're pulling from the the Disney hat, I mean, what other directors could you go with? You could go with J.J. Abrams, which would be, I don't know if he would do it. These are some bold names I'm throwing out here. Yeah. Ryan Johnson, I think he would have most of the fan base keel over and die. But
could you imagine the next Avengers movie? So like the next Avengers following Endgame, it's like comes out Ryan Johnson's directing, and like I like Ryan Johnson. I love Knives Out. It's such a fun movie. I am one of those people that actually defends Last Jedi to an extent. but just the fact that like Twitter would just burn if they saw that, you know, like especially when I think of like some of those hardcore angry people on Twitter that just like shout out to the world on certain opinions that they have on directors and stuff like that. Um, good shouts out though.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Anyone else you can think of that you throw out there?
I mean,
It's
who
just
else
so out of my
is?
wheelhouse to like be able to pull
Yeah.
out a director for this, so I can't contribute at all. Maybe Travis can edit his take in here.
Oh, he definitely has his like probably top 3 he would go to. I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
probably.
I just don't know many directors' names, and you can call me uncultured. I mean, oh, you guys doing a Geekverse podcast, you don't even know directors' names. I'm sorry. And Travis has given me heck for this before. I don't really like live and abide by. I don't want to say abide by that. Sounds weird, but I don't really live my life like diving into the deets of celebrities too much. Like they're living their life, I'm living mine, and they pop into a movie, they direct a movie. Hell yeah, I like it. But
Exactly.
I'm not gonna read into like, do they have a pool in their backyard and stuff like that. Like it's not for me. I don't know if it's really relevant to this conversation, but yeah.
It is now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have like one name off the top of your head you would go with?
Oh no. See, like it's so hard for me to even just like pinpoint a name. I feel like if I'm being like the meme pick would probably be like a something like Snyder, just to get some like,
Wow,
again, that's like
yes.
the meme pick, just to get some Snyder boys upvoting our videos.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know. Yeah,
What
it's
about
tough.
Christopher Nolan? What about him?
Christopher Nolan, I don't think first of all, I don't think he would ever do it. And second of all, I don't think I can't picture him doing like a superhero ensemble movie. I could, you know, we've seen him do the Batmans, and I I can see him more doing like a more grounded superhero type character. I mean, of course I can see that. I saw them. I saw his movies that he did. But you know what I mean? Like I just can't really picture him doing something like a character ensemble movie, really. Yeah, no, I'm really bad with directors. So leave it at that.
Fair enough. All right. Now, what else do we got here? You know what? On the whole topic of superheroes, I mean, we're keeping it going. We're jumping the ship to the Snyderverse, DC specifically.
We're not just jumping ship, we're jumping off the ship and into the water.
Oh, hashtag transition. You've seen the original Aquaman, haven't you?
Absolutely. I really liked it.
You really
I thought
liked
I thought it was a really fun movie. I was going in very low expectations, and I really like. I feel like Jason Momoa really is a good lead for that movie, and that's probably like 85% of the reason why I really liked it. Maybe that's being too harsh. Maybe like 70% of the movie on why I liked it was because of Momoa, and I really liked just the underwater aspect. And I thought CGI wise, it looked absolutely phenomenal. It's so funny when we talk like Justice League, you know, like underwater versus the actual Aquaman one, and it's just so different. They really had like the budget and time to like dive more into, pun not intended there, but like into Atlantis. That's what his domain's called, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So like being in there and like having it look really good. I really liked it. And the whole you can help me out here. What's like the evil creatures that like try and grab them?
Oh,
What are they called? Like the flood or something?
not
Not the
the
flood.
dredge. I think the trench creatures.
That sounds very close. Yeah. The trench? No,
I'll
that's not
pull
right.
it up here because I need to
I
know.
thought it was dredge, and then when you said it, I'm like, that doesn't really sound right. But nonetheless, there
Um,
was just a lot of visually captivating moments in that movie, and I thought the storyline was okay enough. You know, it's just one of those stories where the like our royal highness guy, he's coming back to claim his throne. You know, that's happened in so many different movies in the past, but I still quite enjoyed it. And yeah, what'd you find?
they're definitely called the trench.
The trench. Okay, yeah, there you go.
Mhm.
Um, And you asked me Aquaman. Yeah, where are we going for that? Oh yeah, it's just his new suit and stuff.
I want to know about Orm for you. Like, yeah, what does
Oh, the
Orm do
character?
for you? The character and how he looks in this new movie.
Yeah. Can you refresh my mind on like how he ended his like, what happened at the end of the movie with him?
He lost and he was spared by Aquaman, and I'm assuming he was casted out in exile, judging by this photo.
I was just gonna say he got cast away.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he's looking like in this. I don't know. I like Patrick Wilson. I feel like he kind of falls into a category of characters that he plays of being like villain and like characters that you're not really supposed to like. Like they're kind of come off like very assholey. I can't even think of like a specific movie, but I feel like most of the time like that's his character. At least, you know, in my head. So I do like him though. I've commented on this in the past, but I used to just like hate those types of characters, and in turn, it made me hate the actor, which is very, very unfair
Oh.
because it makes them like it just goes to show how good they are as an actor. If it makes me just really hate them, you know, because I despise that type of character. So, um, I guess that's just it's part of the job, you know. If people hate you, it means you're doing your job right. But I thought he was okay enough. I feel like maybe the character of Ocean Master it it wasn't it wasn't like a Malekith type character for me where I just hated it. It wasn't one that I loved. It sat pretty neutral in the middle, which just makes it a little forgettable, which is a little unfortunate just because you know, like I didn't even know his fate at the end of this movie. But part of me really loves his new look. I don't know if it's just because he's fucking shredded and he's looking good, just shirtless next to James Wan there, but like he's looking like Zeus or something with like his hair and his facial hair. I mean, we brought up the Castaway references. I I I'm very intrigued to see where he goes in the next movie, and if he's just like full evil, or maybe he's got a little bit of a I don't know, like some weird motives that make him neutral in a sense. What about you? Do you like Ocean Master? And I'll ask you a question after you tell me about the Ocean Master.
He was an intriguing character in the first film. I think again, him being the villain is definitely leading up in this film to him turning around and being the good guy. I think
Yeah.
he's gonna team up with Jason Momoa. Yeah, it just seems like the only even why you keep him around, I guess. Like
he comes in there, Jason Momoa just kicks his ass again. He's like casted away again. Next movie, he's got even more like beard, and it's just
oh my god, yeah. There's only the one outcome. He's got to be good. He's got to be good because yeah, I mean, he goes in there, gets his ass kicked, like challenges a duel or something like the first movie.
Yeah, like if you know, getting your ass kicked once in front of like the whole kingdom, like it's one thing, but like getting your ass kicked twice, and it's like, are you coming back third time? I don't think so. But what I was gonna ask you is obviously we see him in this photo for Aquaman 2, but do you think he makes it out of this movie?
No, I think it'll be him
No,
going good and kind of like dying at some point.
Yeah.
I think Jason Momoa for sure makes it out of this movie. That's my prediction.
Fuck that stupid Thor Ragnarok trailer thing. Because as soon as I pictured Patrick Wilson possibly dying in this next movie, I just pictured him with like Momoa and been like, I didn't do it for father. I did it for you.
I'm a trickster.
I'm a trickster. Build a statue of me with my pointy horns, whatever he says, my curvy horns. Anyways, I apologize to all the listeners that have no idea about our inside jokes on this cast, but yeah, I agree with you. I don't think he'll make it out of this movie. I think it would be pretty fun actually, because I mean, the only way that I could see him making out of this movie is if he does get the redemption thing and he actually becomes like more detailed of a character, a little bit more fleshed out, and I think that would be really fun because like I said, I'm a fan of Patrick Wilson. I do want to like him. I just for some reason I always attribute that actor to just playing bad guys. And yeah, I want him to be seen as a good guy. I should look up some movies with him and like see if there's something I like.
And this, The Conjuring. What else?
Yeah, The Conjuring. kind of the bad guy in The Conjuring. Spoiler alert. I think it's like Conjuring 2, isn't it? Or is it the end of the first one?
It's neither of those. It's the third one.
Oh my god, really?
You didn't see the third one, did you? Or maybe
Well,
you
is that
did.
the one? Again, kind of spoilers for those movies, but like, is that the one where like the thing like takes his body and then
Yeah.
he like strangles the woman? What movie is that?
Insidious. Okay, I'll give you that. Insidious
Insidious.
2, he is the villain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that
There
does
you
happen in
go.
Conjuring 3 as well. So he's got a knack for
And
getting possessed.
he's also in Watchmen. I completely forgot about that. He plays Night Owl, and he's in that
Right, Night
absolutely
Owl.
he's in that absolute terrible sex scene. Go check out our
Right.
Watchmen retro that we did. We covered that scene. Holy crap, that was hard to watch, but nonetheless, okay, he's got some good character qualities to him.
He's got a good resume.
Yeah. Do you have anything else on Ocean Master?
I have a talking point that Travis left here. Which suit do you like better?
For Ocean Master, I like the shirtless version, the Castaway.
Yeah,
suit.
I do too.
I'm assuming you're talking about Arthur Curry, the son of a lighthouse keeper. Yeah. Yes. So I feel like a part of me didn't realize how like cartoony like they made like the OG suit. I felt like maybe when it was happening in the movie, again, he's moving around and stuff and doing action scenes, but like just seeing the still of him like side by side with the new version of the suit, the more like sleek Batman looking suit. It's like, oh wow, that looks like a Comic-Con, like outfit or something like that, which nothing really wrong with that. I do like when they have like the classic suits in there. But at the same time, I think I do prefer the new one. I think it just fits Momoa better. I think it fits the new era of Aquaman. Like it's a fun callback having like the golden suit, but this is a completely different Aquaman than what we've seen in those previous interpretations of the character. And I think the new sleeker suit, it just fits better. I also, for some reason, I just can't stop thinking of like Killmonger when I see like that suit too, with all like the scars I guess he had on him, like the kill markers. But I definitely think I prefer the new suit versus the old one. I'm glad we got the old one just to like have, but I am glad that we're getting this new sleeker version, which I really like. It looks gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree with everything you said there. I think it's it's a step in the right direction. I mean, the first one was just a great ode to that original concept, the original costume that he wears, and yeah, just keep going up from there. I think it's good stuff. So yeah,
absolutely.
You know what? I am going to send us away for an ad break. We're just gonna get going here. And we're back from that ad break. Absolutely legendary. That was just perfect timing all around. So
it's fun ads. Those are fun ads.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't understand Spanish, but they were some good ads. So yeah. Next talking point. Some trailers. So which trailer do you want to start off with, Kirkland?
Let's do the fun one. Are you okay with starting like at the more lighthearted one, or do you want to start with like the heavy one and end with the lighthearted one?
Well, we're talking about the same movie here, right? Like, you mean the lighthearted one is not the guilty one, right?
I don't think the guilty one is a lighthearted movie. I think that's pretty intense. Do you have any preference? Not really.
No, wing it.
Okay, let's do Red Notice. Let's do that one first. I remember like seeing, I don't know if it was a teaser or like a poster for this one a little while back, and I thought just it was a fun ensemble. We got Gal Gadot, Ryan Reynolds, and DJ Dwayne The Rock Johnson. And it's just a fun collab of characters. I don't think I've seen all three of those in something. Maybe Gal Gadot and The Rock crossed in paths in the Fast movies, I think maybe. Mm-hmm. But with Ryan Reynolds, I feel like Ryan Reynolds and The Rock is a fun pairing. this trailer, I thought it was a good. I thought it was an okay trailer. I didn't think it was anything mind blowing. It it always kind of makes me chuckle every time I see a trailer with DJ in it, Dwayne Johnson. Just because he's just like surpassed like a stardom level. I feel like he's just on his own tier of like just being The Rock. So like he just sticks out with a sore thumb, which is a positive thing because whenever you see him, you just affiliate like The Rock as like his own brand. Basically, it's like, oh, this movie has The Rock in it. You know, it's not like, oh, who's in this movie? Oh, it's The Rock. Oh no, this is like The Rock's movie. Basically, like he's always the number one name. You know, like from where that guy started his life to where he is now, it's just you got to tip your hat to him. But it just he's always the same guy, it seems, in these movies, especially like at the start of this trailer. He's wearing like a turtleneck with like a jacket. He's kind of looking like a Bond villain. And he's got like his gun out. And I'm like, this just looks so bizarre. This like 6'8" man who's like fucking probably 300 pounds of just muscle. Like it's just so strange to see him in like a turtleneck and like being this type of like CIA agent. It's like I forget what the first line he even said in this, but like basically like, oh, I work for the CIA, I bring people in. It's just like, no, you don't. You're a wrestler. You're a movie star. So it's I always have that feeling when I see a trailer for the Rock movies, but it doesn't like scare me from the movie at all. If anything, I'm like, I know it's gonna be fun at least because he's in it. And then you throw in someone like Ryan Reynolds, you throw in someone like Gal Gadot. I really grew to like her from even just like Keeping Up with the Johnsons. Is that what it's called? That movie? Keeping Up with something.
It was a spy. Yeah, it was a spy movie.
Her and John Hamm and like Zach Galifianakis.
Right. You're right. Yeah.
I really like that movie. Actually, I think it's really fun. And then of course her as Wonder Woman. Like it's just so great. And I think this is going to be a fun movie. It's Netflix, so it's always an easy watch. You don't really have to convince me for that. I'm always going to have Netflix, so it'll always be accessible to me. Acceptable for me.
Acceptable.
I don't know if it's just because like the last couple Netflix movies that I've seen, whether it's, I mean, Gunpowder Milkshake I really liked, but something like Triple Frontier, or like some of these other Netflix movies that have a lot of big names in it, and they've just kind of been maybe a little flat. Kind of like sparkling water, you know, like it's nothing pow, but it's just like it's a little noisy water. It's nothing crazy. I feel like they don't take major risks with these types of movies. I'm not getting crazy plot twists in them. It's just this is what you're getting. And I'm expecting something very similar, honestly, with this movie. And I don't know if that's just because of the Netflix thing. Maybe it's just my luck with these types of movies. I don't know what it is, but anyways, I again rambled on forever. Don't have Travis cutting me in, so I'm not used to it. I could just go. So
we like rambles.
Yeah. So what do you think of the Red Notice trailer?
I got Hitman Bodyguard vibes, to be honest. And again, it's just Dwayne The Rock Johnson playing the same character over and over again, and I feel like it's the same for Ryan Reynolds. So I'm not saying it's a takeaway because I haven't seen a movie with both of these actors working together like this, and that excites me very much. I think they'll have a very good amount of chemistry that'll be laughable at. But I wasn't expecting it. I love Gal Gadot. Gadot or Gadot?
I don't know. I used to call it Gal Gadot, and then I got severely corrected by Travis, the guy that's not allowed on this podcast anymore. He's like, actually, it's Gal Gadot. With like, you pronounce the T, and I'm like, no, isn't it like French or something? He's like, no, she's like Israeli. You know, she says in a trailer. That's my Travis voice, but
that's your Travis voice. All right, I'm gonna call her Mrs. G. So Mrs. G.
I like that. Yeah, Diana Prince.
Oh yeah, she stole the spotlight for me in this trailer for sure. I just thought she was awesome, and they have her in more of like a villainous role. I think is super fantastic and really cool. I think it's just gonna be a great time, and I'm so happy it's coming to Netflix. So it's gonna be great.
It's an easy like sell when it's Netflix. Yeah. You see that Netflix banner, it's like, okay, well, I know I'm gonna have access to it, so I'm obviously gonna check this out. So and something I wanted to mention, because I think when they released like a promo trailer for it, maybe The Rock tweeted it, and it was the three of them standing in that scene with the egg. Do you recall when Gal like just kicks the shit out of both of them basically?
Oh yeah.
So there was like a promo shot of the three of them in that scene. They're all looking suave and like looking nice, but it threw me off so much because they were all the exact same height in the film, like in that image, and I'm like, okay, I know for a fact The Rock is bigger than these people, unless we're saying Gal Gadot, like she's wearing heels, she's wearing stilettos at the same time. There's no way she's getting stilettos that are making her like 6'8" here. Like I'm like, there's some crazy perspective in this shot, and the only reason I really want to mention is because I think Travis like either interact with my tweet or something, or maybe like mention in the group chat. He's like, what's the matter with your issue with this or something like that. Again, I love that he's not here to call him out, because I'm notorious for putting words in his mouth and he can't defend himself here. But nonetheless, I just found it such a weird promo shot, and I kind of forgot about the entire instance until we saw that scene in the trailer here, and the scene looked really fun. And I like you mentioned the Rock and Ryan Reynolds dynamic, and it's gonna be I guarantee it's gonna be a fun dynamic with those two. But I feel like I'm excited for those two interacting together. I'm excited for Ryan Reynolds and Gal, interacting together. I'm excited for the Rock and Gal like interacting together. Like it's just a really fun trio, and it's something new that I haven't really seen like these trio together before, and it's going to be, I think it's going to be fun time. Like if anything, I think it's going to be a fun movie with some laughs in it. So there you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said.
Thank you very much.
But a movie that will not have fun laughs in it.
God, I hope not.
No. The Guilty.
Yes, The Guilty.
Had you heard about
this? Had you heard about this movie before?
No, I hadn't.
Yeah.
I only heard about the game, which is not based on the film.
No, it's a different game, the one you were playing.
Yeah.
The operator one. But yeah, so I obviously just watched the trailer for this one. I think the trailer just came out yesterday, actually. Did you catch a release date on either of these movies? I completely slipped my mind to look at both. While I'm going, I guess you could look at them up.
Yeah.
But yeah, this trailer, first of all, I love Jake Gyllenhaal. I feel like I don't even remember the first thing I saw him in. It might have been Donnie Darko or something like that. But I've always liked him. I've always thought he was such a phenomenal actor. He's got such range. Shay and I just recently watched Nightcrawler. Have you seen that movie?
That's the one with the killer, right? Serial killer.
No, that's that's the Zodiac killer.
Right.
And he is in that movie, actually. Jake Gyllenhaal is in that movie.
Right. I haven't seen,
because that one has like Robert Downey Jr. in it. It's got Mark Ruffalo, Jake Gyllenhaal. Like it's got a crazy cast in it. But no, this one is like I said, I don't really have to describe the movie. That's not the one we're talking about. Nonetheless, we just watched that movie, and it's very like dark and creepy of a movie. And I instantly just like got vibes from that in this trailer. He's in the more hero type role in this one. He's like a what are they called? An operator, I guess, like an emergency operator. And there's something about it. I don't know if it was the music that was behind it or like just the whole scenario, what was going on of him like interacting with like this woman that was supposedly kidnapped. And like, it's just, my blood was just like going and like my heart was racing. I was like, this is like intense. And like all we're seeing is from the perspective of Jake Gyllenhaal, the operator. And I think like this movie really, it caught my eye for sure. I think it's going to be a thrill ride. And I don't want to sound like just some like, one bit like quote on like the movie poster, thrill ride, best movie ever. But like, I think it is like, it seemed really intense. And every scene was pretty much him in the control room or like a helicopter flying above like smoky LA. And I think it's going to be a really, really fun movie. I hope they spend most of the movie, honestly, like in that control room. I think it would be a really like creative way to add a lot of tension if they're like just constricted to that one room and we're not really seeing any villains or anything like this. It's just we're like from his perspective. It's the exact same thing what you were talking about earlier with like that operator game. Like you can be in a confined space but still have like I don't know, sense of pressure and suspense and stuff like that. Yeah. So what was your initial thoughts?
Yeah, my initial thoughts, I had no idea what was gonna come from watching this trailer. I didn't know what it was about. Even the name kind of throws me off, the guilty, but I guess in the sense where he's just guilty that he can't do anything to really save her. Um, it's such an interesting concept that I think is gonna deliver on a high level of intensity that, to me, from this trailer, I would say rivals The Invisible Man. I just feel like it'll probably be on par with that in terms of its intensity. Um,
I
yeah,
got chills just thinking about certain scenes from that movie. God, that was a
I
good one.
I gotta rewatch it again. Yeah, I just think that this movie is going to be very, very well executed. It's going to have a lot of subtle things going on in the background. Just use your peripheral vision and such, and I think it's just going to have a lot of mystery. And these films are always really intriguing because, again, I really wonder who the killer is going to be and how the connection is going to really form, especially if you have the killer talking to him, to Jake Gyllenhaal, and you have the dynamic where Jake Gyllenhaal has become so involved with the family, talking to the kid, the woman, and then the kidnapper killer character as well. So I just think it's going to have a really interesting uh, role for him in this film. I think it's really, really awesome. And I'm very excited to see it. It actually is coming out on the 11th of September in
Holy
theaters.
moly.
I know, very quick. And then
Very
it
quick.
comes out October 1st on Netflix.
Okay, yeah, because I remember seeing like in select theaters and then Netflix, and I'm like, I feel like that's the first time I've seen that, honestly, like a split between Netflix and um, in theaters. So I don't know all the politics of how that happens. Like, is that just like it was made by someone else and then they just kind of sold the rights to Netflix, you think? Or because you think if it's a Netflix original, they would just release it on their own platform.
I mean, it could be Netflix just choosing to try a theatrical release for the hell of it. But if not, then yeah, they could just try to do only digital on their platform, which makes sense. Or it is someone who came to Netflix and was like, hey, like, here are the rights for this movie you wanted, but I want to make a deal. I also want to have it released in
Yeah.
theaters at the same time. I'm not sure how those agreements really work out.
I feel like maybe too, it's like, okay, we have this movie. We had it going pre-COVID. COVID happened. We really don't think we're going to make much money on it. So then they maybe went to Netflix to try and broker a deal out that way. I found it interesting too because when I looked for the trailer, there's a trailer with like the exact same looking dude in the exact same pose, and it's like a trailer from 2018. And I watched that trailer, and it was like all in some sort of European language or something like that. So it's essentially this movie though. Like the lines, it was like very, very similar to what happened in this trailer. I was still like, I'm like, I just watched this trailer, but this one has all subtitles because I can't understand what they're saying, but it's still high intensity. And maybe it's just something with like the whole aspect of like, like a kidnapping or just being so helpless in the shoes of like a character like Jake Gyllenhaal of like, you're literally on the other line and like people's lives are at stake here. Something about it. It's got a good formula for like a high intense movie, and it's really on my radar. So possibly look for, I don't know, a review for this one if we get Travis on here. Because yeah, especially if it drops Netflix, I can't imagine we're getting into it in one of our theaters around here.
No, probably not for a while. And yeah, like you said, if it does drop to Netflix, then yeah, I don't see a review not happening.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for it. Like it just
Absolutely.
looks intense. There's nothing wrong with that. Jake Gyllenhaal back at it. Jake Gyllenhaal is great. So
Dude, he's so great. Yeah, so hot right now. He's so hot right like now. For like a long time.
Yeah.
Like what? I should look him up and like what his first project was.
I don't have like any other notes on that. After you find his first project, let's see what notes you have.
I don't know if I want to look up his first project because it's probably like, I don't even know, like a bar soap commercial or something like that. 1991 City Slickers. That's his first project. Or first, yeah. And then I guess the first one that I recognize would be Donnie Darko. Oh, he was in Bubble Boy. What the hell? That's hilarious. And then like another one that I really remember is The Day After Tomorrow, Jarhead, Zodiac. So yeah, just like everything kind of up from that point. It's just been like really top notch performances in my opinion, and he's phenomenal, man. Such a great actor.
Yeah, No, he really, really is. I couldn't agree more. I don't have anything else on that film. Do you?
I do not. I don't have any other.
I think we hit like all the news topics that were given to
Mm.
us. And again, we have more news topics, but we're saving those for tomorrow's newscast because there's going
Yes.
to be some awesome unveilings tomorrow, which we'll dive into.
Yes, we didn't really juice that up at the beginning, but definitely tune in tomorrow. It's going to be very exciting and some big things coming on.
Big things. I'm just gonna quickly like drop like a minute here. So like Aliens Fire Team. I'm not gonna go into the whole
Here we
story.
go.
Oh yeah, I'm
This
not
is
gonna
what I
get
was looking for. I thought this was like tomorrow. I'm excited
No,
for
this is right now. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into like the second half of the story of trying to get the game because I'm so exhausted. And I don't want to fire myself up.
That movie will come out like when you're old and retired. You'll
Oh, yeah.
release that short film.
Yeah, the field cut. But yeah, no, the game itself is, and I say this because I hope people know what I'm referring to. You're spending like $49-$50 on a game. You should know as a gamer what you're getting out of that, considering most AAA titles are $80-$90 these days. You get that, like the cutscenes that happen, which aren't even really cutscenes. It's just dialogue options where you pick and choose your answers. The AI you're speaking to, they're not moving their mouths or anything. So there's that, which is the big setback that caught me off guard. But like the game itself to its core, I think is super, super fun. Very, very replayable, up in the difficulty levels. The abilities to upgrade your characters to different like tier unlockables and such like that, and these card abilities and stuff. And again, the weaponry, the customizations, the character customizations, the classes, the updates, dealing with the variety of alien species. It's such an exhilarating experience, especially when you have a reliable squad on. And it's just coming down the hallway is like 50 aliens crawling on the ceiling, the walls, and the floor coming at you. And you just got to hold the line and just gun them down. It's great. So
I really don't know anything about this game other than it's an alien. Is this kind of like a Left 4 Dead type feel? Like you go through different like areas and then it's just aliens like chasing you.
Yeah,
so it's PvE.
It is PvE. Yeah, and 3-player co-op. The campaign, I'm loving the campaign so far. It's dabbling into a little bit of everything from the Alien universe, and they even got like the engineers that came before that kickstarted the Alien stuff. You get to see like some of their but their archaeology like ruins and stuff they built. It's got so many cool little tidbits of lore that they've put into
That's cool.
The game. Yeah,
I always appreciate when they do that because it's not necessary to advance the game, but it's a little sprinkle, for like those diehard fans of the series.
Yeah, it's just it's a great title for $49. I got no regrets getting it. It's so enjoyable.
Only regret is how you bought it, I would say.
My only regret is how I bought it. I'm never buying another game online again. It was the worst experience. Pure later. Oh my goodness, Pure later. You just let me down. Jesus.
I loved how you logged it though. Like you made my day when I was just at work and I'm reading your messages. It's like, oh no. Okay, well, Taylor will get it next week.
It was so upsetting because I thought I would get it the next day out, but a week later. And then I mean, if you already heard the first part of my experience, I was like, the next day, tomorrow is the day. And I went to the place where their new location from the renovations where they were set up. I went there. The building was completely empty, nothing in there, no signs in the windows. They were gone. I was like, what the fuck? Like, how is this happening? I just want my game. Where do I go? I get out. All these people are waiting. They're like, where'd Pure Later go? They're gone. I'm on the phone with them. No answer. It's just so ridiculous. And then this realtor strolls along, goes to like go inside. We're like, hey, where's Pure Later? He's like, oh, I think they went back to their first office originally.
Oh my gosh.
It's
so bad.
Oh, so bad.
That is hell. There was something I was going to ask you before. Oh, did you, just because we're talking aliens, did you like the whole engineer stuff? Like there is some controversy with Alien Covenant. I've never seen Alien Covenant, but like I'm thinking, I guess, more Prometheus because that's something I have seen. Did you like the whole like idea of the engineers and how they basically started the whole alien thing?
it's tricky because I grew up on the idea that you have predators and engineers fighting over like alien xenomorph eggs and stuff like that, and that. But again, I was not opposed to some of the things Prometheus did. I wasn't a fan of Covenant and how it was humans that essentially, well, not humans, but David, the AI that is, or the synthetic that essentially created the aliens, that perfect face hugger and xenomorph. I'm not really a fan of that storyline.
Yeah.
I like the idea of just a perfect organism that has evolved in the galaxy and just expands like the flood, I guess you could say. I like that
Yeah.
concept that
Yeah.
just it's ancient. So
Yeah, I agree with you. I haven't seen Covenant, like I said, but I heard it was David that kind of kickstarted things. And
you never saw Covenant?
no, I never saw Covenant. I remember seeing
Wow.
the trailer too, and I'm like, this movie looks sick. I remember that one specific scene when you actually see the xenomorph like on the ship, and like his little mini mouth is flaring at you, and it looked beautiful, you know, especially considering where we started with Alien to like whatever year that movie came out. It was like, god damn, the CGI just looks gorgeous on him. But and then yeah, I just heard nothing but thumbs down on that. And I think there's a really big risk whenever you try and like explain something that had already been established, like, you know, alien, like xenomorphs, like you just said, like I'm 100% okay with them just being this very mysterious alien race that has just evolved into like perfect killers.
Mhm.
And like just leave it at that, you know, like why do we have to get an explanation on what made them perfect and who designed them perfectly? Like, you know, like I feel like like 8 times out of 10, like you're not going to get a satisfying result with that. Maybe 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get a satisfying result for everyone. You know, like it's very tough to do that, and you kind of hinder, in my opinion, like some of the magic that makes these characters so iconic and stuff like that. In that sense, maybe it's a little extreme to make that statement because I feel like xenomorphs are just so far and beyond like what something like Alien Covenant could bring it down to,
Mhm.
because it's just such an iconic character. Um, but yeah, I don't know. That's my random little alien spiel there.
Well, again, I hope it goes free on PSN, just like Predator Hunting Grounds
Dude,
did
I'll be
for
on
you.
there. I'll be on
Oh
there.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Oh
excited to
yeah.
stream Predator with you.
Oh, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be so good.
Absolutely. I've seen you and Ruben play that like a couple times, and I remember Ruben rocking like freaking Arnold, wasn't he? Was he rocking like that skin and everything?
Uh,
Might have been you. I don't know.
Probably. I've bought in a few of the map packs. So just the Predator stuff is so cool, and they just added the
Egyptian
um
one, right?
Egyptian like
Yeah,
Cleopatra
looked
Predator. Oh,
really cool.
so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that just does it for whatever notes that I had to talk about and Travis's notes. Do you have anything else you want to just plug away or?
We have depleted my napkin of notes, so we are all swell. Keep your eye out for a stream sometime this weekend. I don't think it would be Sunday like morning. I think honestly it's possible for it to be an afternoon one. But just, you know, if you're used to tuning into the streams, just keep your eye on the GeekVerse Twitter, my Twitter. We'll be posting when we're going live and stuff like that. And like I said, not 100% set on what or when that would be going live, but we'll definitely be getting some stream going at least sometime this weekend. So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And yeah, again, you and me will be doing Malignant.
that's right.
I'll
That's tomorrow night, isn't it?
probably tomorrow night. Yeah, I'll probably see it. Yeah, tomorrow. Are we gonna review it tomorrow night, or do you want to do it on the Friday?
Let's talk after cast about that
Yeah, we
one.
shouldn't let people actually
Yeah.
know this
No,
publicly.
exactly.
That's insider
That's a
information.
hint of our our thought processes, I guess.
Yeah,
Normally, you got
yeah,
to be a Patreon to get a glimpse into that.
yeah. Oh, all right. Well, we're out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank
Episode
you again for
one
tuning
of the
in.
GV2 era.
Oh
Sorry to
yeah.
emphasize that. That's just so fun.
I shouldn't have labeled episode like 414. I should have labeled it episode 1.
Episode one,
Fresh,
the new
clean
Geek
stuff.
first. Just
New
like
geekness.
rebrand everything. Yes. Maybe going forward, we'll do something like that.
Yeah. All right. Well, you guys know where to find us. Thanks again. We'll see you in the search bar.
See you later.